goodbye to these very nice fenders. Today, we're going wide. So today is day 1 and part 1 of Project Flared WX. I'm going to try to do this in only a 2-part thing. Today is going to be the front 2 flares because that is a lot easier, and I don't have the last part that I need to do the rear flares that I'll explain in a little bit. But I think I got all the essential pieces to get it all done. I looked at a bunch of videos, looked at a bunch of forums on how to properly do it, and I think I've basically kind of made my own way, and I think it's going to work out good. Unfortunately, I don't have another set of hands. All my friends are busy, and if any of my friends are watching this, then you're an a-hole because you didn't help me. Either way, I'm going to go ahead and get everything mocked up. I'll show you step by step how to do this as far as the fronts go. It should be pretty easy. I'm pretty excited. Let's get it. So here's all the pieces to the puzzle to actually get this thing flared. I got the 2 front flares right here. This is so I don't get freaking shards of metal in my face. That's so my hands don't get destroyed. This drill is to drill the holes for the bolts. Here are my little bolts right there. Also, I'm doing a riv nut style right there. You can see how to use those in a little bit. I got this guy legitimately just at Harbor Freight to actually install the riv nuts. I borrowed this from my friend, a little angle grinder. Got a brand new blade on it so it actually cuts good. And then I got some fresh guys here so that I don't destroy my fenders. Well, let's go. First thing I want to do is lay the flare down exactly where I want it. Got a little Sharpie, and I'm going to do the exact center of where I want to drill my holes. There's only 1, 2, 3 on the front flare. Shouldn't be too hard. Try to get it lined up. So I think the most important one to get down is going to be this top one here, because once I get this top one drilled, I could put the bolt and the riv nut through. Then I'll be able to kind of manipulate this side and this side to make sure everything lines up perfectly. Now that I got the hole I want to drill, I'm gonna get a little pilot hole going, drill straight through, then I'll open it up, throw on the riv nut, throw on my bolt, then I can throw on my flare, and then I'll be able to manipulate left and right as I want this bolt to go and where I want this bolt to go. A little tip when you're drilling into your fenders, 1, let the drill bit do all the work. That's why I got new drill bits. Also, do a pilot hole like a super small one before you do a big one. And lastly, when you're drilling into metal, it basically just wants to shoot straight through once it goes through. So I got a little piece of sponge here that I cut off my mom's sponge. Don't tell her, she's probably gonna be mad. Either way, so yeah, I got a little piece of sponge here. I'm gonna put this on the drill bit, just like that, so that I'll have a little padding when it goes straight through. This is kind of what I'm talking about. No going back. So because these are actual Karlton flares, like the original ones, they fit just so perfect. Like you could see there's like no seams. Of course I have this little guy here, but it's literally just right up against the fender. Absolutely like perfect fitment. Like check this out. All the red that you see here is just a double-sided tape that I'm gonna just peel up so it'll be all black. But I mean the fitment is like perfect. Anyway, so now that I got this one in, now what I was saying is once this top one's in, I can manipulate this going up and down and this going side to side to make sure my holes are really, really centered and make sure it just looks good from all angles. And then once it does, then I could drill this hole. Got 1 in, got 2 in, and what I was kind of following kind of like as a guideline is just making sure it follows this line right here all the way straight across. And I think I did a pretty good job. Not bad. Now, as far as this one down here, it's the last one. This little edge kind of tucks in there. And look at the fitment. Freaking perfect fitment. Almost all the way to the edge. Perfectly flat at the bottom. Now, got a little dot in there where I'm going to screw. We're good to go. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, all lined up. Now I can take off this little red tape. Now that's a freaking perfect flare. What do we think? Got one 100% done. Just got the other one all mocked up as well. About to take out this red tape. Perfect. I cannot get over this fitment. How good the flare fits to the fender. Literally like perfect. Now it's time to take out the big guns, and first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape around the flare so that when I take the flare off, I have a general idea of kind of the shape of it and the shape that I want to cut out. Also, I think I'm going to do about an inch below each bolt hole and then just kind of follow that line. And hopefully that'll be sufficient room for me to cut. And of course, I don't need to be cutting anywhere basically past probably like here on the fender on the underside, and then also of course like here. And it kind of gives me a rough estimate. I'll leave a mark right there as far as how far the tire goes so that I don't cut unnecessary material. I'm probably just going to end up cutting from here and up. Well, I got my general line of where I want to cut, which is this bottom one right here. I think it's time to just go for it. Well, there's no going back now. It's probably a little hot. Just need to cut off that last piece. Well, first cut is done. Honestly, it didn't come out too bad, pretty straight. Now I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to this guy here, kind of clean up the edges. We'll see where we're at. I am very happy with how this came out. Really clean cut. And then I even got the file out like you guys saw, just to make the edges nice and smooth. I think what I'm going to do is get more of this rubber kind of seal right here, and then I'll end up throwing it. Even though this is, it's not very sharp. Like I put my finger right here, it's not gonna cut me because I kind of beveled it. But I think what I'm gonna do is get that rubber lining just in case that the tire makes contact with this. I think this is a pretty sufficient amount of clearance. Like I don't think it's going to hit, but you know, just in case, I'm definitely going to make sure that it is protected and that the metal doesn't hit the actual rubber tire. But pretty clean. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually throw just a little coat of paint on it as well, just so it doesn't rust, and maybe a little bit in the holes that I cut too for the flares. But all in all, this side's pretty much done. Looking pretty good. So here is side number one. You can see that fitment is just like spot on, basically just seamless all the way through. Very nice. I'm actually in love. And you can see the clearance for the tires. Should be pretty sufficient. You can't even really see the fender up there. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Now that this side is all done, I'm gonna move over to the other side. It's so scary every time. Now I got this side all cut up, looking all nice, and then I switched over to this guy here just to get the rough edges off, and then I got my little file out just to make sure I got all the excess little metal off. Then I threw a little bit of paint all along the edge just to make sure it doesn't rust. Doesn't look too bad. There we go. Front is 100% fully flared. Loving it. Okay. So I think I am done with today. I got what I got done what I wanted to get done, and that is the front two flares, 100% buttoned up. I know you guys are probably thinking, hey Alex, you didn't use the riv nut gun at all. And you are right, I didn't use it yet because I'm not sure if I want to go this size. So once I use that riv nut gun, then I'm basically stuck to using only, I think they're like 1/4 inch hex bolts. I think that's what I'm using. And I might want to use metric, because metric, there's a lot of different, like, if I ever want to change my hardware up and do like anodized or do like black or do something of that nature, it's gonna be harder to find standard sizes than it is for like metric, like JDM stuff. So that's kind of like my limiting thing. I forgot that I didn't get metric and I actually got standard, so that is my one dilemma. So basically I just have the bolts in there, and just by twisting them into the sheet metal, it will hold it enough for it just to stay up right now. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use those riv nuts or try to find some metric riv nuts. So I'll figure it all out tomorrow, but in tomorrow's video we'll start doing the rears. That's where things are going to get interesting, and that is, I think, what scares people away is doing the rears, and that's what scared me away from doing it a long time. But I think I basically figured out just the right method where I think everything's going to work out good, and I mentally have a plan, so I think it's going to work out perfect tomorrow. Anyway, I want to hear you guys' opinion on what the front flares look like right now. And I think the rear is just going to completely complete it, and then I can start doing some actual like super good photos and arrow out all the way so you guys can see basically my vision as far as like what these wheels are going to look like and what they'll look like when it's rolling and stuff. There was a lot of people saying like, oh, they like the old wheels better. Do I love these wheels? I'm not absolutely in love with these wheels, but what I do love is that they are 5x100 and they're 18x10.5. I'm more so in love with the fact that they just work, and they're going to work for me going to the track. Do I absolutely love the way that they look? I'm not super in love with the way that they look, but they're definitely, they're sufficient for what I need right now. Just wanted to kind of clear that up. Am I going to get new wheels in the future? Am I going to change up the look? Of course. The build is, you know, it's never ending, and are these my dream wheels? No, but do I like them? And I think they look really, really good in person? Absolutely. Alright, I think that is enough of me talking. I'm going to go ahead and clean up and get prepared for tomorrow to complete the flares, and I think you guys are going to super like what it looks like. I kind of was just mocking up the rears right now, and it completely just completes the look. It looks so good. Hope you guys are excited for tomorrow's video. I will catch you guys then. Peace out.